Question. Real estate in California. What the Seriously, can someone help? What's an escrow? What's an ARM? What is an REO? What is pre-approval? Can I get pre-approval? Why is inventory so low? Why are interest rates so high? Oh, interest rates not so high? How low is low? How not so high is right.
Before you go down the road of questions, get expert help at championsofhome.com. California Association of Realtors. Who's your realtor?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Too Stupid to Live, a podcast that reviews romance novels around $5 and under. I'm your host, Becky Feldman, and if you've ever been interested in reading erotic horror, but you're like, oh my god, what does that entail? I'm too scared to read it. Can someone else read it first and then, tell me what it's like? This episode is for you. And if you have no idea what erotic horror even is, oh boy, are you in for a horny experience that is stomach-churning in all the right ways, though. Today, my guest and I are reviewing the paranormal, sci-fi, erotic horror romance Dead Emma by Sylvia Morrow, and this was such a fun episode to record. But before I get to introducing today's guest, I do want to give a shout out to the folks over at Spark Point Studio. They just sent me an advanced copy of There Will Undone by R.J. Valdeperas. It is a coming-of-age romance that is a must-read for anyone who loves romantasy, that has a forced proximity plotline, forbidden romance, dual POV. The story itself is inspired by Inca mythology, and it has really captivated me. I'll share a link in the show notes. If you see There Will Undone out on the shelves, I 100% definitely recommend picking it up. Okay, now on to today's guest. We have a return guest, guys. The hilarious and brilliant Amy Height is here. She is the host of the podcast Wackadoodle Time, which is about another love of mine, Bravo shows. I was just on. I had so much fun. It was just so great, really getting into deep dive theories about Bravo Lebs. But anyway, let's get to the meat of this show, Too Stupid to Live. And once you listen to our review of the book, you'll realize that the term meat of the show is actually a really funny pun and a really great segue into the next segment. So please enjoy this review of Dead Emma. My God, Amy.
Hi.
Hi, welcome to the island of freaks, of freaky
Freak Island. Oh my God.
Island.
It is like a weird reality show.
It really was. It was really funny because we'll introduce the show in a sec. But I was watching, we were just talking about Summer House, and I was like, what if these three characters in the book Dead Emma were in Summer House? What? Oh my God. I
don't know. I feel strongly that Lindsay would be the mermaid in the lake.
Yeah, she would.
Just tearing men's limbs off of them and being like, hey guys.
Yes, she's definitely the limb terror. I'm who's the ghost? Who's the headless guy? This book, by the way, if you're just what are they talking about? This book was nuts.
When Becky asked what genre do you like, you're very accommodating and nice, and you said, what genre? Here's all your options. Mm-hmm. There's also weird stuff. There's this, there's that, and I said, let's get weird. So
yes.
Give me something, get the weirdest one you can find. And Jesus Christ, you delivered.
I am stunned. I've read a lot of crazy things, and I've read a lot of weird things, and rarely, I love everything that I read, but rarely am I speechless. And there were I was going through the book yesterday being okay, how am I going to organize my thoughts to organize this? And I was rereading parts, and it's still, I was just stunned. This book left me stunned.
Truly, the power of the human mind. That's really what I was thinking about. Mm-hmm. I was there are people out here living full lives and having experiences that I can't imagine. And I'm not talking about the characters. I'm talking about the person who can think up something like this.
Exactly. Yeah. Like sometimes, you know how you feel like, oh, every story's always been told, or like every kind of plot line's always been done. And it's like, nah, it really hasn't been.
Not this one. Not this one. Have you read anything by this author before?
No, but I do know I subscribe to this Substack that like talks about like monster romances and like crazy romances. And the author did an interview with this Substack writer. And I was like, because like I've been trying to not get screwed over by accidentally being recommended something that's written by AI. So I'm like, I need to do research better. So I found this author. She's known for writing like inanimate object romance. So it's like one is like she has books where it's like someone's falling in love with like there's like a spirit living in her apartment door, and she's like falling in love with the door. There's one where she's like falling in love with her pillow because there's like a ghost inside her pillow. So it's all crazy weird stuff. So this is like the first time where it's like very corporeal
ish. Yeah, ish. Sometimes.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. And I didn't even think about the AI trap. I bet you run into it a lot.
Yes.
And I would just like to say with regards to this book, AI could never.
AI would never. Yeah. And this is like what's really important is like AI, like this book is fucked up. And I mean that in such a reverent way. But AI could never be this fucked up. Like True. You need a human to write a story this fucked up. And that is beautiful. It is a beautiful, beautiful thing.
I think so too. It is disturbing. I was prepared for fucked up, but I wasn't prepared for, there were a couple of like sequences that truly like disturbed me.
Yes.
And I was like, it's fascinating that there is a market for people who want that plus graphic sex scenes. I'm so happy for them that they're getting this content, you know?
Yes. This is okay. Let me just get into it. We read because I was like, oh, let's just talk. I was like, let's introduce blah blah blah. We'll get to that. But like, I'm like, let's get to the book. The book we reviewed is Dead Emma by Sylvia Morrow. Okay, so here's a synopsis. I can't even do this book justice, but okay. A ghost, a headless guy, and a man with regenerative powers get together. No, this isn't the beginning of a joke. This is the definition of love when it comes to Emma, Max, and Jake. And these three will always make time for each other to communicate their boundaries, even when they're stuck on an island, a loved one is dying, and a council of evil mad scientists are trying to kill them. That
Perfect.
I don't even think I began to.
No, that's a great sort of very, very skim the surface. Like that's a very great broad outline because once you start describing everything, it's immediately too insane.
It's too insane. And like back to what you were saying about like kind of like this book, like has a lot of horror elements to it in terms of like blood, guts, cannibalism, all of this stuff. And the fact that like it also has like a really like oddly sweet throuple romance. Like it's
that
like
throuple really surprised me in a great way.
It was like one of those things where it's like, oh, even like it reminded me that like even beauty can come from the most can happen in the most fucked up places. Love finds a way.
Love finds a way. That is absolutely the theme of this book. You think death, you think not having a head is going to stop love? You're wrong.
No. Yeah. You think being a ghost kind of is going to stop?
A ghost sometimes. Yeah, that's right. But if you don't want to be a ghost anymore, you can just do some cannibalism. Yes. And then you're not a ghost for a while. Yeah.
Or if you're a person who, like, you get a limb chopped off and it grows back, that's just cool.
Dude, that is cool as hell, especially if your girlfriend needs to feed.
I know. It's so convenient.
It really is.
I mean, I feel like people are probably listening and they're like, what the fuck are they talking about? So, okay. I feel like
that's how we felt reading. Yes.
Exactly. Like, let's just, like, talk about, like, this world for a second. Because, like, we are in a world where I guess magic exists, where evil science exists, and our three main protagonists were basically like you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you know how like the girl 11 in Stranger Things was like at this like she was like she was like in these like child experiments. We're basically looking at the adults who used to be like 11s. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, that's a great comp, because I was having trouble sort of picturing the nefarious lab that they keep talking about.
Yes.
And the lab as the entity, as like the big bad. I was having trouble, but that's exactly right. But I also like, this is a world where literally nothing's off the table. And I think in Save the Cat, where they talk about double mumbo jumbo, where you do like, if you're writing something, you can't have like two weird things. Like once you start adding too many weird things, then you've lost any tether to the real world. And they call it like double mumbo jumbo. And this was like infinity mumbo jumbo.
Yes.
But she, like, in a way that also, hey guys, there's also a mermaid. Like, just fucking deal with it and let's keep it moving. She's not even the star of the show. Yes, this guy doesn't have a head and he's stitched back together and he shoves food in a hole in his neck. Like, get on board or get the fuck out. I liked the spirit of it.
Same. And you want to know what I just realized that we're not even talking about is that this is a step-sibling romance.
Oh my God.
We didn't even mention that they're like step siblings, so there's that taboo element, which is also
that's like the 12th
nuts.
most interesting thing in this book. That's crazy. Yeah, no, incest is fully a part of it. Light incest,
yes,
like Clueless level incest, if you would call it that.
Exactly. And so, like, that is an interesting point because, like, I feel like what is your take like on the step sibling kind of taboo romance of like, do you find that titillating as like a romantic plot line?
I do not. I don't know. It just gets real tricky for me because like in Royal Tenenbaums, the light incest that was going on there. If the kids are growing up in the same house, even if they weren't there from day one, if they're spending like year, like I can allow the Clueless one because it seems like
same. They
were married for 1 minute. Like the parents were married for like a year and then they split up or something. But if we're talking about growing up together, then in my mind, those are siblings. And you can keep your hands off.
I completely agree.
Okay.
Yes, I feel the same way. Like I felt that way about Royal Tenenbaums. And I oddly, did you watch do you know those pants, the LuLaRoe pants? That company. I was watching the docuseries on that company, and I guess the founder adopted a bunch of people, and 2 of their kids adopted not the same genetics, but they fell in love with each other. And I was like, that's weirder than like if I don't know us like 2 step siblings. Like that to me is like so much more incestuous than like step siblings to me.
I think so too. If you call the same people mom and dad, then I don't think you should be fucking. And call me a prude and call me a boomer, but that's just how I see it.
Okay, boomer. Well, there's like other like I don't know, like other kind of like not freaky, but like kind of like these supernatural stories where it's like a bunch of like, you know, like which is what this book is like these kids are freaks, they're mutants, you know, like their parents abandoned them or they're dead, and it's like a found family kind of thing. But then within this found family, you have love happening, and it's like, okay, when is it like this sweet love story within the found family, and then when is it like, oh, this is like an incestuous love story within our found family? Like, what are the parameters there, you know?
Totally. And luckily, there's so much other batshit crazy stuff going on. We really don't have time to sit with that.
Yes, we absolutely do not, because we have Emma, who is like, she, I guess, is a ghost, but not fully a ghost. Also, none of this matters. What we care about is just these 3 people fucking, let me just say.
No, but there's so much there's so much infrastructure around the fucking.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so it's like we really need to establish like who these people are.
Yeah. So it sounds like some people in this world can die and just see ya. And like if there is an after, like, and go to an afterlife or no afterlife, but like they don't know what's on the other side. Like Aunt Jess's husband just went on. right? So some people can do that, and some people can stay tethered to this world in the form of a ghost or something.
And like in this world, which I actually thought was interesting, like if you are staying tethered to this world, like in this world, like you are tethered to the place where you grew up, not where you were killed. Like, you know how like in like horror movies, it's like, oh, like people were slaughtered here and you can sometimes hear their ghosts. Like, no, in this world, it's like if you were just slaughtered, murdered, whatever, you go back to haunt the place where, and you choose to be tethered, or you are tethered for some reason. I don't think you have
that choice was made for. I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems like somebody did that to, like, for Emma to keep her safe or something.
Well, here's the thing. I think in this world, like, there's this science lab, and they basically are like trafficking people, scientists, to do their experiments. And it's to the extent where these scientists are like these like thralls, or like these, they're like basically enslaved by the science corporation, that if they have kids, they automatically have to let their kids be experimented on. So it's like kids are being, so it's like if you work for this company and if you fall in love and if you have a kid, that kid is the property of the science company, and they can do whatever you want. So Emma's dad, obviously, he was a really good dad, or her mom, or her, or whatever, one of her parents. They were like really good.
Honestly, I don't remember.
I don't either. They're both dead now, but basically they were like, I'm going to do whatever it takes. Like, despite these circumstances, I'm going to save my daughter from being killed. And so her dad like developed this technology, or like this thing for her to be like this part ghost. So she's technically dead, but in order for her to like stay alive, she needs to eat human flesh.
That's right.
Yeah.
To achieve like a corporal form, and she goes in and out. Okay, sure. You know what? Sure. Why not?
Sure. Yeah. And so she's tethered to, so where she grew up is an island. So that's where she's stuck. She's stuck on this island with her, and her parents are dead. And she's living with her aunt Jess, who knows magic for some reason. I don't know.
Did she work at the lab, or did her husband? She has a dead husband that she's very sad that he's not here with her anymore.
Yeah. I think her dead husband worked at the lab. So he knew how to like set up wards or something to protect Emma from the science company being like, oh, Emma belongs to us, blah, 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 blah.
I also just really love how they keep calling it a lab, and they talk about experiments, and it all sounds very scientific. And then the shit they're doing is like, I need some fingernails and like the blood of a pig, and I'm going to speak Spanish for 2 minutes, and then that's going to be the spell. I'm like, okay, great. Sure. Absolutely.
Yes. It's like in this world, like it felt like, okay, like it was witchcraft that they were doing. And this, like, because he's like doing spells, and they're finding like elements in the forest to like kind of do this and do that. Like, again, none of this matters. It's all about the fucking, but it is like kind of like it is kind of like taking like magic and witchcraft and sci-fi and like putting and like combining it with like a fucked up science fiction thing where like scientists are like, oh, there's magic in our world, we can do this and that, like how do we fuck it up? So that's like, that is like kind of interesting. Like it's a bit season 4 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer of like
what are we doing, guys?
Yeah.
No, totally. I do like that, the merging of like the of the scientific and the natural world. And also, and again, like you said, who cares?
Right.
I believe that the author understands all of it. Like, I didn't feel like she was pulling it out of her ass. I felt like she had a very clear grasp of the world and the rules and everything.
Yeah, and I think it's like one of those things where I am sure other crazy shit's going to happen in this world, and you just have to watch it unfold. And the more you read, you learn about this world, even though you're not like, if there's like going to be a sequel to this or a series, like I'm assuming this is going to be a series set in this magic science world where
they're like on the run by the end.
Exactly. Like more fucked up, horny freaks are going to start hooking up with each other.
Right. And also like maybe they'll meet Bigfoot and start fucking him too.
I would love that. Yeah.
We got mermaids on the table.
And that mermaid, like I hope she gets her happily ever after. Like I feel like she was like a really misunderstood.
Truly.
Because basically the mermaid is also a kid who was like experimented on. And she's like a mer monster in a way where she has like webbed hands or something, you know. And she like is kind of circles the island that dead Emma lives on. And she's kind of protecting dead Emma. But she also is like kind of a bitch to dead Emma. Like she's like, they're in like a mean girl situation.
Wouldn't you be? You'd be like, oh, I have to live in this mucky, dirty lake. And that bitch gets to like swan around the house and eat people and like
wear clothes.
Have boys fighting over her. Yeah.
Yeah. I can understand like Mary, like she was a fascinating character to me. So basically, so dead Emma, obviously she needs to eat human food. And so, which is like so that leads you to this kind of like dark place of like, you have to procure human bodies in order for her to stay alive, blah, blah, blah. So this leads to her stepbrother, who I'm assuming that her dad and his mom married when they were like 15 or like when they were teenagers.
Yeah.
So hormones were happening. Like this is at a stage where like they didn't grow up together. Hormones are happening. They see each other and they are horny for each other.
Yeah, that I see. That makes sense.
Yeah. So Max is also experimented on, and his freakness is the fact that this guy has no head. He is a headless man.
He sure the fuck is. That's right. And also the rest of him is a little Frankenstein.
That's correct. Because his like brain and like everything else is like in his chest. So like he thinks from his chest.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
And then he's got a helmet that processes visual information for him. And he can take the helmet on and off.
Exactly. Yes. He takes the helmet off. Like, to eat. He takes the helmet off. He like boop, boop. And he has in his neck hole is just like a feeding hole where they put food down his neck hole. And then, but more importantly, during sex, he can take his head off, put it on the stand, face it towards his headless body and whoever he's fucking, and he can like pretty much make his own sex tape with his own body.
I mean, that is a cool perk. And you know what? There needs to be some exchange. Like, yes, you lost your head, but you get to do this instead. Now you get to watch yourself having sex like you're in a porno all the time. Also, they gave him an extra large dick when they put him back together.
Yes, he has like this monster dick. And also, I could have read this wrong, but is he like strong? Like, can he
like he's large and very like his whole thing is like he's muscle. Jake, the other guy, seems to be like the brains. Max is the muscle. He's the guy that's like torturing people, getting bodies for Emma. Like he is, he's that guy.
Yeah, like he's the guy who can like pick someone up and just like crush their neck with like their one hand or something. So like, so he's like, okay, that makes sense. Cause like, I think a lot of this, like, so dead Emma and has like her stepbrother love relationship, but she also has this ex-boyfriend, Jake, who she thinks is dead, and we as the reader think is dead.
He fell into a vat of acid, honey.
He fell into a vat of acid. Was it Max's fault? Maybe.
Kind of.
But Jake's kind of freakazoid mutant thing is that he can regenerate. So, like, if you cut his finger off, the finger will grow back, which makes it very convenient for Emma because she now has, like, a constant food source. So that was, like, a really good relationship she was in before Jake, quote unquote, died. But Max was like really horny for his stepsister and obviously was very jealous.
Yeah, so it's implied that he let Jake fall. And he could have saved Jake because there was some lab evil people shenanigans going on. He could have saved Jake, but he, in like a split second, he didn't. Now, here's a question I wasn't clear on. Did Jake have the regenerative powers regenerative powers before going into the acid? Or was that a byproduct?
I thought that he did because like Emma would eat from him, like she would eat his body.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I had that question too of like, oh, was this vat of acid? Did it give him? Is it like that superhero origin story where it's like you fall into acid and you suddenly have powers? And that confused me. But then Jake, makes this miraculous return. Emma's hungry. And Max is off doing a mission or whatever. But like, Emma's hungry and he's like, oh, hey, do you want to return to what we used to do? Because when Emma eats from Jake, he basically just comes his pants. It is the horniest thing ever.
He loves it. And he grows right back. So it's like, it's perfect.
It's perfect.
Also, when did Emma die? How long has she been a ghost?
I feel like she's been a ghost. Like, I want to say maybe a decade.
Whoa. Okay.
I think I'm just putting in these pieces in my brain. Like, what did you think?
To me, it didn't seem like more than a couple of years because it sounded like they were all about the same age, but also but none of them are normal. So I was like, if she's a ghost, then she's trapped at whatever age she died. But these guys are going to keep aging, so that's going to get real gross real fast. But also, they will probably like it.
Right.
Or sickos.
But I thought that, like, they were experimented on so much that, like, what if, like, when you okay, let's say that, like, you're an old person and your arm gets chopped off, but you can regenerate. When the arm grows back, is it a baby arm or is it, like...
Becky, this is such a good question that I don't think enough people are asking. What a good question. If I chop my arm off today, would it come back with these sunspots on it? I don't know.
We don't know. Yeah. Like, would it still have like the birthmarks or like any kind of scar or like, what if you're wearing a ring? Like, well, I mean, I guess you could take the ring off and wait for your
but like
to
tan
back.
lines. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Or like, calluses on your finger. If like you write with your, left hand, you get a callus on your middle finger, yeah.
These are important questions.
So important questions. So, okay. But it seems like I got the sense that throughout all of these like kids' lives, they were just like constantly being poked and prodded. So like we are seeing them like their final product is they're a ghost, a headless man, and a regenerative person.
Correct.
If you had a choice, what would you choose? Would you rather be a ghost,
a
headless man, or have regenerative powers?
Oh, regenerative. Are you kidding?
Same.
What else? The other two aren't viable options because either you have to be a cannibal or you don't have you have to shove food in a hole in your neck.
Yeah. But let's say that like you had super strength, like, or
I mean, that
like
would
you
be
had
nice.
power. Or let's say you had a big dick like he did. Would that?
Oh, then never mind. I think I still have to go regenerative.
I do too, because it seemed like the regenerative thing, like that was the only thing that felt like a power. Like the ghost thing, that you're literally dead. The head thing, you're literally decapitated. Like, yeah, you learn to live, but it's like that's not like a power. Like, oh, someone can shoot me, and my skin will merge back together.
Yeah. And okay, another question. Did Jake live because he was regenerative and it just took him longer to regenerate because he was fully dissolved?
That's what I think.
Okay.
I think like maybe he like when he fell into the acid, because him and Max are like, they are now were enthralled to this like science thing, and they were like kind of doing missions for the evil scientists. And that's how it happened when like Jake fell into this acid.
Right.
So I guess like, did you ever see The Substance or something? Maybe it's like, at the end where he's like that blobby thing,
yes!
and the blobby thing then like, yeah.
Perfect. Okay. That makes sense.
Good,
it makes sense for this world.
For this world.
Now, here's another thing. There are people trying to kill them at all times.
That's what it seems like. So we have this tension thing. The tension is rising when Aunt Jess drops this bombshell. She's like, guys, I'm dying, and I'm dying tomorrow. And I didn't know what to do. I sold the island to the Council of Evil Scientists who like did experiments on you. I just realized that's like really bad. But Emma is tethered to this island. So then like Emma, Max, and then soon Jake, they have this mission. Like, we have to find a way to get Emma off this island. We need to break the ghost rules. We need to find a way to help her. And it involves like Max going on a mission to get her dad's records. And it involves like when Jake comes in, it involves his like knowledge of witchcraft to like do this.
He's real good at it.
And he's real good at it. And all the while, that's not the most important part of this book. The most important part of this book is that right now, Emma and Max wants to fuck Emma so bad, and Emma wants to be fucked by Max so bad.
So bad?
Yes. Yeah.
So bad.
So, okay. We kind of, like, we see the tension. Like, they kind of, like, rag each other. And so, like, okay, I have to read this passage aloud because, so this is, like, kind of Max and Emma's, like, routine, their shtick before they fuck. So Emma tells him, she's like, she tells him to suck her dick, or she's like, hey, suck my dick. And so, he's like, okay, you suck my dick. You know, they're just like kind of ragging at each other, but now it's kind of morphing into the sexual thing of, I don't have a dick, but even if I did, I wouldn't show you. Yeah, you would. If I said I wanted to see it, you would. And then Emma's thinking like, no, I wouldn't show you my dick if I had a dick. And he's like, and so then Emma's like, yeah, okay, I'll show you my dick, and I would still tell you to suck it. And then Max is like, well, yeah, if you showed me my dick, I would suck it. And then they're like, what did I just say? And then like, they're like, what did he just say? And it's like, I don't have a dick, but he said he would suck it. And he's like, I know she doesn't have a dick, but I said I would suck it. Oh my God, am I in love with my sister?
Yeah,
so
that's all it takes.
That's all it takes. And so then Max is freaking out, and you have his like internal monologue, and he's thinking, I could leave tomorrow and have something horrific happen, something that keeps me from seeing her again. And one of the last things I said to her was that I would suck her non-existent dick. I don't even have a mouth, for fuck's sake. And that to me is this book.
1,000,000%. Yes, I don't even have a mouth. That's right. I like how they have to keep reminding you of all the crazy shit because you can't hold it all in your head the whole time.
There were certain times where I found myself, and I don't know about you, but like I found myself getting caught up on the lack of head thing. So there were like moments where like I know that maybe the book is trying to portray and describe a certain feeling that Max is feeling. And so it would say something like, oh, I was grinning when I was like jizzing all over her tits or something. And I was like, but wait a minute. What does grin mean in this world? Is your chest grinning? Is it what this is, see, I got a little caught in that, I will say.
That's fascinating. I'm surprised. Yeah, that didn't even register for me.
Question: real estate in California. What the Seriously, can someone help? What's an escrow? What's an ARM? What is an REO? What is pre-approval? Can I get pre-approval? Why is inventory so low? Why are interest rates so high? Oh, interest rates not so high? How low is low? How not so high is right.
Before you go down the road of questions, get expert help at championsofhome.com. California Association of Realtors. Who's your realtor?
Is this a okay time to say that I fucking hate that character of Max?
Yes, absolutely. Because he was pretty terrible. He was a scary horny stepbrother. He was like, yeah.
I'm not, I don't read a lot of romance. So can you tell me, I'm assuming this is the kind of trope. Once he started calling her baby girl a lot, I was out. I can't, calling the person you're fucking baby and baby girl to the degree that he was doing skeeved me to my core.
Yes. And let me add on to that. He's the younger sibling. So there's that.
I didn't even think about that.
And also, yes, baby and baby girl, I know it totally rubs people the wrong way. I do know that there is a kind of fetish dynamic where you have like your daddy dom and your little girl.
Sure.
And it's kind of establishing the power relationship within whatever kind of fetish you're enacting. So it's like calling someone baby girl, calling someone little girl is like helping with the dynamic that you are establishing. But with this, when it's like, well, the taboo thing here is like is the incest, not necessarily like we don't really need the daddy dom little girl. There's like too many fetishes in one, maybe? I don't know.
Maybe that's it. Yeah, because she's such a vulnerable character the whole time. She's so vulnerable. Like her state is vulnerable. She disappears and comes back. She's also younger. She's also physically smaller. And I just was like, bro, you kissed once and you jumped right to baby girl. Like, it icked me out. And, but also as I was reading, I was like, this is clearly something that other people love because it's happening so much.
100%.
So I could see it as like, oh, this isn't here for other people.
Yeah. But I think you make a good point because even if it is for other people who like enjoy like this daddy dom baby girl kind of dynamic, like it still has to be earned. And like, I think with like Emma, like she is the little girl in the scenario. She is the one with like seemingly the least amount of power given that she's like half a ghost in this dynamic. But when it comes to the bedroom with her and Max and her and Jake, like I think we need to know that she's like in charge. Like they are bowing down to like her every sexual need in this. And so like, I think that like that needed to be established before we got to, okay, I'm going to call you baby girl. You know, like, do you know what I mean? Like I wanted her to set her boundaries before we got to the sex.
Yes. His dominance did not feel earned. It was like, are you just dominant because you're so big and tall and bulky? But also his personality, like he was just a dick, and that like, and I know that's another trope, but like he was a dick to Jake. He's a dick to everybody, and it felt like. It just felt like, you see those guys out in the world that are dicks like that. And you're like, this is, I can see how insecure you are. Like, this is 100% born out of that. And if maybe we had a little bit of a nod to that, I would have accepted it more. But I was just like, ugh, shut up every time he talked.
Max could have had a little more humility because he definitely had the bravado of like one of those like manosphere guys. Like it definitely, it's to the point where I'm like, you are so full of yourself and I know that you're not, and I know that you love your sister and you're in love with your sister, and I know you mean well, but like I think the book kind of like, it's like teetering on like how macho do we make him, but how sensitive do we make him? And I understand the macho thing, and I understand the fantasy of like, softening up this macho guy. I wanted to see like a little more softness from him.
Yeah, for sure. Because all of a sudden it would like, once Jake comes along and they start opening up their relationship and folding him in, it was like he's just the daddy to both of them. Like,
right.
I don't know. That's not super interesting to me.
No. Yeah. And I think like what else is like, kind of that probably could have been explored more. I know that there's only so much you can put in this book.
Right.
And we're reading it for
and there's already a shocking amount.
Yeah. And there's already like, I still have so many questions, but like we kind of learn that like Jake and Max end up forming a sexual relationship. Like it kind of is revealed, and it's kind of hinted at with Max that he has some sort of like sexual attraction to Jake, but like that, like I wanted to see Jake's sexual attraction to Max as well. Do you know what I mean? Like I wanted to like be on board. I was on board, but I wanted to be more on board,
Yeah. I mean, I did really like the conceit of switching narrators every chapter.
Yes.
At first it was just Emma and Max back and forth. And then once Jake showed up, we started getting Jake chapters too. And I really liked that. I don't think this book would have worked if we'd only gotten one person's perspective on it.
No, not at all. Like we definitely need, especially for something as like bonkers as this, especially for like honestly, like thruples, given that like I think our culture is so trained to be binary, like it's two people, whatever, like having like the perspective of everyone in a relationship, if especially when it's like more than two, because it's just something that like I don't think we're not yet, like I think as writ large, we're not as we're kind of like when we hear someone's in a throuple, we're like, ooh, tell me more. Like we're still in that phase, you know what I mean? We're not like, it hasn't been just like accepted of like, oh yeah, he's married to two people, whatever, blah blah blah, you know?
Yeah, totally. And I thought the author did a good job of sort of getting them there. Like charting out the progression of like how each person would feel about it, and some people took longer than others. And I thought that she did a really good job of tracking that.
Yeah.
Along with all the other crazy shit that was going on.
Yeah. Cause like, honestly, like I really did feel for Emma when like, so when Jake returns, because she still loves him so much, but she's like, I can't put aside Max. And it's like, I kind of like, it was kind of a really good, not that this ended up being a love triangle, but like it starts like this really like serious love triangle of like, okay, in something like in something that where it is just one person, it's like you are like, well, who is she going to choose? She doesn't have to choose, but you do kind of really feel for her in this sense of like, oh my God, she has to choose, you know?
But I was very pleasantly surprised. I totally thought, oh, it's going to be one or the other. I guess it'll be Max because he's the one we sort of like met first. By the end, she was like, why not both? And I was very pleasantly surprised by that. And also pleasantly surprised by Max's sort of evolution within that. Because at first, obviously you think, oh, this guy's never going to go for something like that. But he's like, well, fuck it. I guess I'm a bisexual.
Yes. Well, there was like one moment when when I was like, oh, does he want to fuck Jake? Where Jake is returning to the island. Max is about to leave to go whatever. And Jake is like taking a shower or something because he just like survived getting his body put back together. And he's like, blah, blah, blah. So then Max and Emma are like, she gives him a blowjob in the other room.
Right.
But there was like before the sex happened, he's like, oh, so what? Jake's back and you and him and his like adorable little dimple are just gonna kiss? And I'm like, oh, okay, Max is definitely attracted to Jake. Like that's without a doubt.
I can't wait for him to find out.
Yeah.
He doesn't know it yet. Yeah. Totally.
So like, okay, what did you think of like all of these sex scenes? Like, particularly when we like, let's start with like the step-sibling sex scenes. Like,
that one I think I enjoyed the most. It was the first one. It was the one with the most tension behind it, you know? And aside from the headlessness of it, it seemed to be, maybe I'm just vanilla, like maybe it seemed to be the most like recognizable or like accessible.
Yes. Like it definitely was, you know, one-on-one. There was something like, because like it begins with him like overseeing her masturbating to a picture of him. So it's like, okay, that's hot. Right. And then he like comes in and he's like, I want this too. And also they really establish their boundaries. Like he full out says, I never saw you as a step sibling. And that made me as a reader feel comfortable.
Totally.
But then he takes his head off.
And then, right.
Let's say you were Max and you don't have a head. How do you bring up like, hey, is this going to be weird? But like, I'm more comfortable when my head is off during sex.
Yeah, I think that is I think that's a conversation you have beforehand before you just spring it on somebody. Max was really big into springing things on people. I feel like
really
not a lot of consent being given. I mean, everyone was clearly having sex voluntarily, but there were some moves where I was like, you should have had a check in about this.
Totally. Yeah. And it's like, I understand that this, like, I think the term is like dubious consent or dub con, where it's like, they're saying yes, but like the book isn't showing them saying yes. And I guess like, am I like a dork where I kind of want to see those conversations now, where I'm kind of like I would love to see it. Like, listen, before we begin, you know, like a full on non-sexual, like this is just a conversation over a cup of coffee of like, when I fuck, I take my head off, or like, I have never fucked someone before. Can I look for your vagina using my flashlight? You know what I mean? Like that, like I know that like in the rule of writing is show don't tell. But I would love a tell before a show, you know.
I mean, let's have the option. Somebody try it so we can at least see what it's like.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll decide we don't like it, but maybe we will.
Yeah.
I can see it working for sure. But already it also doesn't really track with the asshole character of Max as we've seen him.
That is true. But like I would, and like, so, but it could be like those moments of like, I don't know. I'm kind of like, I feel like people need to teach young girls how to have sex with their stepbrothers who are headless.
Those are conversations the parents should be having.
Yeah.
Listen,
like,
guys,
yeah.
This is your brother now. If you decide in the future that he's not your brother and you want to fuck, here's what you got to do.
Well, did it ever, like, you know how like in those teen shows, like it just like made me think of like Gossip Girl, like, you know how like it's like in Gossip Girl, I remember that like the two leads like get together, but it's also revealed that their parents were once dating when they were that age. And so then the parents get together. Like what is, like, that's weird, right? Is that weird?
That bothers me less. If the kids are dating first and then the parents get together, I think that's okay.
Let's say the parents were together once and then their kids date. Is that weird?
I don't think so. I mean, I guess it's a case. All incest, I think, should be a case by case basis.
100%. Like all of this stuff, 100%. It depends on the character for sure. But like, let's say you and your ex each have kids. They start dating. You're single. Your ex is single. Your kids are dating. They're just like in a relationship, you know, teenage relationship. Would you then, like, let's say you had a night you were hanging out with this ex, like you guys hook up, like what? Like, how would you feel? Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, that sounds like a Nancy Meyers movie. I think, and I would watch it. I think it's fine.
Yeah.
My first instinct is that it's okay. It doesn't bump for me. If everyone in this scenario is an adult, a sexually active adult, because like, yeah, I think as long as the kids are okay with it. I think I can see the kids having feelings about it, but maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah. Like, what would you do if, like, okay, they are on a date and like but it's like a drunken hookup with this guy, you know, and it's like, it's after the fact of like, oh my God, what do I do? I mean, I guess that is a Nancy Meyers movie. And I think it's the one starring Diane Keaton and Jack Nicholson.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. She already wrote that one.
Oh yeah. That already happened.
Great. It's a great one. And then she goes out with Keanu Reeves.
Exactly. But to quote Amanda Bachula on last night's Summer House Reunion, why aren't there like more situations like that in real life that we're seeing? Do you know what I mean? Like, doesn't it seem it's happened so often in porn and in these books? Like,
what, incest?
Not incest, but like kind of like step-sibling romances or parents of two lovers being lovers themselves, becoming lovers themselves.
I think that the latter could be talked about in mixed company. I think the first one, if it's happening, I think people are lying about it or keeping it down low. You're not going to say, how did you guys meet? Oh, we were step siblings because the stigma is huge for that.
It is a big stigma. Like, what would be your how, like, would you say, oh, we met on Hinge? And then it's like,
I would say
like,
we had mutual friends or something, friends of friends.
Mutual parents. We had mutual parents.
Or you could say like, oh, we grew up together. We lived on the same street. Not a lie.
That's not a lie. That's not, yeah. You would probably like do like the most realistic sounding, least like a lie thing of like, oh, we knew each other growing up. Or like, oh, we met as teenagers or something.
Our parents were close. Again, not a lie.
It's funny because like if I hear that from now on, I'm going to be like, are you a step-sibling? I think you are. Oh, you grew up together? You're definitely step-siblings.
Oh, on the same street? Oh, Sure.
Yeah. You lived in bunk beds, okay? And you gave each other Christmas presents.
Oh my God.
You watched each other shower. I don't know. That's disgusting.
I mean, not in this book.
Not in this book.
Right? Peggy,
not in this book.
Would you ever? I think you have a brother out there somewhere. Would you? No. She's so upset by this whole conversation.
Yeah, Amy just lifted up her dog, Peggy, who's super cute, and she just had the most forlorn look on her face of like, what are humans up to these days? They are disgusting.
Right. They're not okay.
Yeah.
Also, she's only hearing my side of the conversation. So she's
exactly.
like, what is this? Is this her therapy session? What is going on with this lady?
Yeah. She's like going to her other dog friends and like, humans are not okay. They're talking about fucking step-siblings, like ghosts having no head. Like, I'm concerned. Like, I know that we need to be taken care of, but I think they need to be taken care of.
Right. Who's taking care of them?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
So when Jake comes back to the island and we're now like having group sex, like what did you think of those moments when it started to kind of evolve into this? Obviously there's like people after them, but they are just having never ending sex.
I didn't mind it. Yeah. I thought it was great. Why not? I like the I like the incorporation. The only moments I didn't like were when it like drifted into body horror.
Yes.
When she bit his dick off.
I was going to ask you about that. Mm-hmm.
Didn't care for that. Mm-hmm. I didn't care for that. Was that jarring for you? Because it was for me.
I was jarred by it. Was when she bit his dick off, was that before or after he broke his pelvis in the shower?
That's the worst one for me. And I think that came last.
Okay.
Because I do feel like the boys fucking was like one of the climax, like one of the penultimate moments.
Like,
I think that biting the dick off came first, but I may be wrong about that.
I mean, the biting the dick off, like, I was like, it's not that it was jarring, but then I was like, yeah, I guess that would happen. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You know how, like, okay, to bring this back to UCB classes.
Oh my God. Okay.
You know how, like, we're taught in Improv 101 to like heighten and explore, and like there's the heightening and exploring, and like when someone does like a move that's like, oh, that's really interesting, maybe you could have waited a beat before you made that move in order for that move to feel more earned. Is that how I felt with his dick being bitten off? I don't know. I think it definitely felt like, it's definitely like threw cold water on the vibe of it for me. Again, I was sort of meta reading it the whole time too, being like, is this what people like? Is this what people read these books for? Like, so I was also, there was like an analyst happening, present as well as I'm reading this. It seemed like it came pretty out of nowhere. Right? Yeah. I mean,
I think even just like she looks at Max and goes like, get a load of this, and then chops. It just any little acknowledgement before she just goes in and bites his dick off, I think would have given me just a second to be like, something different's about to happen.
Right. But I think that, like, I get that. I'm like, okay, I don't have a dick. And so maybe I felt like, oh, okay, whatever. Because there was a moment where, or like there's a time beforehand where she bites his tongue off. And that to me was like, oh, I have a tongue. That's disgusting.
Yeah.
But then when she bites his tongue off, like that's when he comes. So I was like, okay, she's biting his dick off. Good for them.
Okay, sure.
I don't know what it was. It just didn't. I'm like concerned about myself that it didn't gross me out enough. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that's like
it didn't
my
gross
concern.
me out that much. It wasn't as jarring for me. The Max breaking Jake's pelvis really upset me. I really didn't. It really jarred me in like an unpleasant way.
Yes, it was very unpleasant. So basically, Max and Jake are realizing like they love each other too. Someone walks in on someone else in the shower. They fuck.
Always the shower. It's
always the shower. They do have a quick conversation about it of like, hey, if I break your bone, will it heal? Like, yeah. But it was like, they did pull up the question of like, well, does Jake feel pain when he gets his limbs torn off? You know?
And it sounds like he absolutely feels pain, but conveniently he kind of likes it, or he has trained himself to like it.
Right. But it would have been nice, like, to see him break a bone in a 3-way beforehand, before like Max is like, I'm gonna break your pelvis. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, or have Max be like, actually, I can't. And Jake will be like, well, I'll break it my fucking self. And then him break his own pelvis. It just felt it was so visceral and like unpleasant. It immediately stopped being sexy.
I agree. Like there was something very unsexy about it. And I think like it was also because like at that point, like I think they were having assassins after them. Their aunt is dying downstairs. And like, that's really brutal. And like, they need to get off. And like, there was like kind of like the kind of the danger outside of the bedroom happening, but the bedroom scenes are happening. And I know that's like the point, like, you know, people get horny in these like high stakes situations. But for me as like a person, like I need to feel safe. I need to feel safe. And like, and I'm like, oh my God, it's like the assassins are after him. The scientists are after him. He has to wait until his pelvis heals in order to run, but he broke his pelvis to have sex. Like, you know, like it was just like it was making me very stressed. And I know people like stress. I realize I don't like stress.
Oh, same. Very much same. I'm stressed enough. I'm good on that. Like I don't need extra.
Yes. There was one point where I have to go back of it. There was like one moment where Jake and Emma were going to have anal sex. And Emma's like, wait a minute, I need lube. And she says, I'm still a ghost, but I want to be comfortable. And I was like, interesting.
What's going on, guys?
Interesting.
So does she, so she does feel, I mean, obviously she feels pleasure. So that would imply that she feels pain too.
Right. But does she feel dryness?
Great question.
How moisturized are her membranes?
That is such a good question. Yeah, it was like she was a ghost when it was convenient, and then she was like not a ghost when she didn't need to be.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, like, I do like the idea of like, okay, lube is important. Like, I'm glad it's in there. Let's
for anal, especially. Come on, guys.
Exactly. But like, it was weird of like, well, like I got caught in, well, what's going to absorb it if she's like a transparent ghost? Because like your skin cells absorb the lube. Like,
right. Once she starts fading again, does the lube go somewhere else?
Where does the lube go?
And also, do the clothes she's wearing disappear with her, or do they end up on piles on the floor?
Well, that's the thing. I think she had like, this was what was confusing to me, is that she died like wearing this dress, right? So when she would like, you know, go around always wearing the same dress, but when she would eat human body parts and become like more corporeal and like have color, her dress would stay invisible. So you would see her naked through the thing. And like that confused me, because I'm like, well, the dress is more dead than she is, and the dress is like not a being.
Right. And then she just puts other clothes on top of it?
Yeah.
Okay. Also, there was definitely a moment about like his giant dick hurting her when they had sex, and the fact that like it would always hurt her because like what's her butt in True Blood? Like she's a tight forever.
She died a virgin.
Maybe not died a virgin, but she died like she's never going to get used to his dick. It's always going to stay in that same spot. Because she's a ghost.
Right. So like her vagina is kind of like Jake's body in that it never she has regenerative powers in her vagina, but that's it. Maybe her butt too, but that's it.
We never got to find out.
Like the moment, like I really enjoyed the scene where like they were kind of like trying to figure out like their body positions, where he's like, let me just put my head here. Like that I liked.
Yeah, I liked the logistics of what's it going to look like if these three people fuck. And yeah, I liked all of that. And I thought I definitely always felt like I knew what was going on, which was good. I was really stressed out the whole time because that old aunt was in the house the whole time.
It really stressed me out. And because like she is dying from cancer, which is like, I don't mean to get like sad or anything, but that's like a very real thing. It's very sad. And like, I kind of, maybe for me took me out of it, because I just like, I'm like, they're having the most insane sex upstairs while she's like fading away. And like, honestly, like if I were in her position, I'm like, yeah, I would love my niece and nephew to fuck each other and have fun, like live your lives. But
she didn't seem too into them fucking. She was disturbed by it.
Well, there was that backstory when do you remember when like he was telling the story of like why he got in a tiff with Aunt Jess was Max was spying on Jake and Emma fucking, and he starts jerking off. This is a flashback. He starts jerking off as Aunt Jess is coming up the stairs with tea, and he jizzes into her tea.
I think I blocked that out.
Because that's the most ridiculous, because, okay, I'm just like trying to visualize this. He is like peeking in through the door, his pants are in his ankles, and he's like jerking off, right?
Right.
They're fucking.
Like you do.
He starts hearing footsteps coming up the stairs. He starts coming. What he does is he turns around and finishes himself off in front of his aunt.
Yeah.
And she's just like staring at him and
her down.
Yeah. He hosed her down. And like and I'm like, well, wait a minute. Well, now it seems like Max is in love with the aunt because like that's kind of horny of just like, hey, I was jerking off, but now you're here. I'm going to like it just felt like
like would you not kick that young man out of the house immediately and be like, you're actually never allowed to come back onto this island.
Right.
You are a sex pest.
Yes. And if you were him, like, wouldn't you just be like, oh my God, I hear footsteps. Let me run into the bathroom and hide. I'm humiliated.
Max does what he wants.
He really does. He really thinks he can just jizz everywhere.
Just hose everyone down from his giant dick.
His
giant lab-grown dick.
He does seem like the problematic, like, in a regular movie or something, it's like, this is the problematic stepbrother who, like, we will all cheer when the monster kills him. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, that was how he was portrayed. But no.
Like an 80s bully kind of guy. But
exactly.
with like a bit of a soft side, but not quite enough.
Yeah, not enough. Like, and I do, like, I love the idea. Like, I do think it's horny when you win him over, but, like, yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. We're going to play a game called Let's Say You Were Emma. And I'm going to ask you a series of questions.
No.
Let's say you were Emma and you were like introducing yourself to someone. Would you consider yourself a ghost fully? Like, given her circumstance where she said she's a ghost, but would you, Amy, consider yourself to be a ghost when you can be corporeal if you eat human bodies?
This is a great question. I don't know. Okay. I guess I have to ask a clarifying question, which is how are there other ghosts in this world? Is this the only version of a ghost in this world? Because if everybody knows that ghosts can be tangible when they eat human flesh, then I wouldn't feel the need to like go deep into explaining. You know what I mean?
Right. You would need community, which I like really appreciate.
I would. I really would. I think if I was in my like solid form, I don't know that I would lead with I'm a ghost.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't either.
I don't know that everybody gets access to my full truth. You know what I'm saying?
Let's say that you had a part-time job and you bring your lunch to work every day and it's like human food.
Sure.
Would you like would you like put it in a sandwich and be like, just enjoying my PB&J? Or
1,000,000%. Oh, I would hide that shit. You don't want to be the cannibal girl at your local Trader Joe's. Like, I want to I'm trying to blend in. I'm just trying to clock in, clock out, get my health insurance, and
nice work, health insurance.
Shit.
Yeah,
thank you. For whatever good it'll do me. Yeah. No, I think I would keep it on the down low because also I don't want people to know all my business, but also I don't want other people to have to watch me eating human flesh. It's going to be unpleasant for them. It's going to prompt a lot of follow-up questions.
And also something that I fear when she eats the human flesh, she spits out ashes.
Yeah. Or because she eats it and it like goes into her ghost form, it like falls out of her or something.
Oh yeah, like just
is that what it is?
Something where it's like apparently her stomach is like this inferno or something.
Yeah,
and ashes leave her body, so it's like if she's like eating, it's like someone eating like chewing tobacco and they have to like spit it out, you know, like
Oh God. I think I would just be like, hey guys, I just really like to take my breaks in my car. And I would just go out behind the dumpster and just gobble up the ear or whatever I had brought that day and just hope that no one saw me.
Yeah. Okay. Let's say you are Emma.
Okay.
Would you fuck Max with his head off?
Oh,
This is a personal question.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. This is personal.
I think if I have already done the mental work to be fucking my stepbrother in this world, yeah, take your fucking head off, bro. I don't care.
Yeah, be comfortable.
Yeah, be comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I'm staring, if that helmet is like right in front of me as we're having sex, I'm staring at it. I know that I'm staring into a camera.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
I would almost rather just take it off and then I could look at the ceiling or whatever. But then you're looking at his neck hole, so I don't know if that's anything.
Yeah, unless your eyes are closed or you're facing away. Like, I love mouths. Like, and I'm kind of like, okay, what did his mouth look like? Would you like? would I pretend just for me want to kiss his like mouth indentation on his mask? And then it made me wonder, well, like if his mask can like has the technology to like record information and send it to his brain and his chest, like why isn't like his mouth not like a sex toy? Do you know what I mean? Like
now we're getting serious. This is an excellent question, Becky. Also, you're also bringing up another great point, which is where's that footage going? Is it going to a cloud? Is it being stored on a server in the evil lab? Maybe you know what? Maybe the head doesn't come into the bedroom at all because I don't like. We're just making a sex tape of me every day that you're not in. It's just a POV sex tape of me. And then who's watching that? Some security guard at the lab?
Yeah, because we don't know where that footage. Like, I mean, Russia could be like
trust
spying.
it. Yeah. All I know is we can't trust anything the lab has done or made.
You are absolutely right. We cannot trust this lab, and like we need to remember that in the bedroom, and that's very smart. Okay.
I think helmet stays off.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Let's say that you're with Max, you're Emma. Would you ever like you're just joking around, flirting, you're like watching a movie or something. Would you ever like ask like, hey, can you take your head off and I'm going to try and take popcorn and like throw it into your neck hole?
1,000,000% yes. Yes. Why not?
Yeah, that would be fun.
I'm not a great shot, so I don't think I would ever make it, but I would love to try.
I think you would. Like, I feel like it seems easier than someone's mouth. Well,
I was on a basketball team. I'm not a good shot. I know this. We've tried it.
I really want to make
but
you
I'll
feel
try.
Good. Okay.
I will absolutely try. Yeah. Oh, I would absolutely be like, what else can we put in that hole?
Okay. I have a question.
Please.
If you were Emma, like, think about like a famous person in your life, like that you know of, that you find very attractive, like your number one guy, whatever. Let's say that person was Jake. What part of their body would you bite if you needed to eat them if you were Emma?
Oh, boy. I mean, the idea of eating is so... I think it would depend on the day. If I'm feeling like I want wings, then I would probably eat a couple fingers, right? To get those little bones.
Yes.
And if I was like, I just want something rich and fatty, maybe I would take some bites out of the tush.
Tush bites. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it would just depend on what I was feeling for that day. If I'm like hungry, maybe I'll just get that hamstring and just like go to town. What do you think? What did you think?
I was like, because like I would like sometimes like remember those turkey legs you get at the Renaissance fair? It's like, oh, if you want like a big turkey leg, you just like rip off their arm and just like eat it and be like, thanks, babe. You can walk and talk, like, and like, and save the bicep, because I love a bicep, Yeah,
I love a bicep, but it's coming back anyway.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, but it's like
I don't think I would be biting the dick. I just think,
what if he asked? And he's like, I like this.
If I'm already in the place of eating him, then and it was important to him, then I would probably try it.
You are such a good girlfriend.
Thank you so much.
Oh my God.
Would you eat a dick?
If he asked, if it was something that we talked about, absolutely. I don't like. I would definitely like. I see myself, if I were Emma and this wasn't brought up ever, me making jokes about me biting his dick, but never doing it. And not like while I'm doing it. I'd be like, you know, I would definitely be like, oh, here come my teeth. Just kidding. You know what I mean? Like I would
Just
bring
edging
that
him
up
forever. Yeah.
Exactly. But then if he's like, listen, I know that like you were like joking around and like, you know, but I actually really would want you to try it. And I'd be like, oh, yeah, no, okay, yeah. Because, like, I'm the one who introduced it with my jokes. You know what I mean? I have to follow through.
I like it. Maybe on his birthday, you know?
Yeah. A nice birthday blow. You want to know one part that I did find disgusting, though? And it has nothing to do with the sex or, like, the dick being eaten off. You know the part when, like, they're escaping and they need, like, a rope? And
no, don't even get me
okay, I'll stop.
on the flesh rope. It was, no, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It was so disgusting.
That made me
all of a sudden
nauseous.
it turned into like hostile levels of like body horror, of like peeling your skin off. It regenerates just enough that you can peel more and make a rope out of your own skin. Go fuck yourself. I don't ever want to read a sentence like that again.
Yeah. It's like, it's a great, like, look, I'm so glad that you have these resources on hand to fuel your escape. Like, I'm rooting for the three of you. That made me very nauseous. Like that,
yes.
that finally was something that made me nauseous. Like that was the first time I felt nauseous.
Totally. And I had this, you very kindly sent me this, ebook. So I was reading it on a Kindle, on the Kindle on my phone. And a lot of times when I'm reading is when I'm like eating and found out the hard way. Can't do that. Not with this book. Because Jesus Christ, what? And there's all the talk about like torturing and killing the like people that work for the lab that are coming to try and hurt them. Like there's so much gore and physical violence, non-sexual physical violence in this. It was wild. It
was wild. And to be fair, it was warned about like in the beginning. Like there was that content warning. I guess this is maybe my first like horror romance that I've ever read. So I guess I was like taken aback by the level of gore in it. You know what I mean?
Right. When it's actually just like, the gore around the sex stuff was something that I was like, prepared for. But just like casual gore in the middle, like during the plot stuff, I was not prepared for that.
Yeah. I mean, like, again, clever plot move. Again, we're not reading it for the plot, so but clever plot move if that is something you're interested in. Because it is like, okay, well, how are they going to get out of it? There were a lot of things that like nothing in this world made any sense, and it's fine. Like the thing, like her soul goes, like when they escape, like they put her ghost body.
She possesses him.
Yeah, and it's like it makes no sense. Also, like what's the like? There's none. Any question you have will not be answered. So don't like read this expecting to like have your questions answered. But like, it was like it did. But it was like that kind of like horror moments that I was like, oh, like this is for someone who really likes horror movies more so than maybe a sweet romance at that point. Yeah.
And I like horror, but I don't like body horror. I don't like gore. I can't mess with it. You know what I'm just thinking though, when you mentioned the climax where they finally, where it's built up the whole book where they have to get off this island, and then in 2 pages they're like, nah, we did it.
Yeah.
But they get out by her possessing, like becoming a ghost and possessing Jake, right? Or Max. Or she's in Max.
Yes. Wait. She possesses Max.
Yeah, because he's the strongest one, so he like runs her out.
Right.
I just realized, like, why didn't we get a scene of her being like, I want to possess Max and fuck Jake? Like, I want to know what it feels like to do that.
To have a
either way.
That's pegging. That's like pegging 101.
Yeah.
I'm
pegging. I'm just not using a strap on. I'm using your whole body.
Yeah. A whole body peg.
That would have been fun. Hopefully they'll get something like that in a sequel.
Hopefully they'll get something like that in a sequel. And another thing that was interesting was like Max, like there was the after that point, like Max is like, she's in his body and he's like, I feel her disappearing. What do I do? And Jake is like, you have to eat me. So Jake ripped this made me, this kind of was like, I was already like really nauseous at this point, and I was like, oh, this will just add to my nausea, whatever. It's like that extra, it's like when you're driving on a long trip and you're nauseous and there's just one more turn. He rips his ears off and like shoves them down the neck hole, and that gets Emma back, which I'm like, you know what? Clever. The book ending with eating ears. Clever. I was ready to barf. in all the right ways, though. In all the right ways.
Very, very turned on, very horny and barfy. Yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly what the goal.
Yeah. And he was really obsessed with bidets. Did you notice that? Like,
Max, who was it? Was it Max?
Max?
Or,
yeah.
I have a bidet, and I appreciated the representation, because when you get used to it and then you go somewhere that doesn't have it, it really does suck.
I can see what you're saying. I use like a portable bidet thingy that like I just like leave in my bathroom, like just in case, and like, and so yes, I don't have a bidet, but I understand the appeal. Is my point. It's
pretty important for this modern life.
Yeah. Especially for something horror like this. Like you need to watch. You don't know what body parts are getting in what crevices.
Oh my God, there's gore, there's viscera, there's people's human remains all over the place.
Okay. I want to ask you for your final thoughts and a rating. So I had an idea for the rating, but I'm scared it's going to gross you out. But I'm just going to say, how like it's 1 out of 5. I'm thinking we can like rate it based on how many bites Emma takes out of Jake's dick. 1 out of 5 bites of Jake's dick means you didn't like it. 5 out of 5 bites on Jake's dick means you loved it. How many? Again, I don't mean to like re-traumatize you with this scene because I know it was very bad. But like, give me your final thoughts. Anything else you have to say about this book, and how many dick bites would you take out of Jake's regenerative dick?
Okay, thank you. I'm glad I read it. I probably will not continue on with the series if it becomes one.
Yeah.
But never say never. It's not completely off the table.
Sure.
The gore and the physical grossness was really challenging for me. So I can't give it a full 5 bites, but I am now forever glad that I have read this book so that I can describe it to other people.
Yes.
At cocktail parties and things like that. So for that, I'm going to give it 4 bites.
Hey, I think that's a great rating. I'm actually going to give it 5 bites for that rating too, because like, I'm like, sometimes people are like, oh, what are you reading? And I could, what a great answer now that we have. And like, there's nothing I love more than attention and talking. And so, now we have fuel for that. So
that's right. That's right. And when it comes up, I don't read a ton of, if someone asks, I can say I don't read a ton of romance, but I have read, I am big on the like stepsister ghost fucking her headless brother genre. Like, are you familiar? And then I can get very like pretentious about it.
100%. You have to be pretentious about this. This just goes like, you really like for this book, like, and I'm saying this for myself too, like we really took a dive into the weird and we jumped in head first or whatever the phrase is, we just jumped right in. We didn't dip a toe in.
We jumped right into that weird lake with the mermaid at the bottom.
Yes. And I would keep reading the book or keep reading this series to see what happens to her. Cause like I do have a soft spot for like the side female characters in anything who like are considered a bitch or like are made fun of in that world. I'm like, I always think of them. So yeah.
Justice for them. Justice for all of them.
Justice for them. Amy, I was going to ask you to talk about your podcast in the beginning of the show, but I would love for you to tell us about Wackadoodle Time and where we can find you and all of that jazz.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Well, it's funny that you bring up my podcast, Wackadoodle Time. It's a Bravo podcast for unhinged theories and hot takes from the world of Bravo and beyond, because we recently had one Becky Feldman as a guest, and she knocked our socks off and was an absolute fucking delight. It's not a recap podcast. It's just a bunch of Bravo people getting weird and talking about our little niche pet theories and literally whatever else we want to talk about. And we release new episodes every Tuesday. wherever you get your podcasts. So please check it out.
You guys, it is so fun. It is like, honestly, it basically is the conversation you have with people about Bravo. Do you know what I mean? Like when you're both talking about like, oh, you both saw Real Housewives, so you're not going to recap it, but then you talk about your theories. Like that's what this podcast is. It's like a fun Bravo conversation with friends.
I'm just trying to recreate like being at a party, meeting someone, finding out they watch Bravo, and then being like, well, this is the person I'm going to talk to for the next hour and a half. Let's lock the fuck in.
Yes, it's all about community, all about connections, like Bravo romance. It's about bringing people together.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much, Amy. This was so fun.
Thank you for having me. What a delight. And thank you. You really picked an all-timer for me. I feel very honored that I got to read this book with you.
Thank you so much for checking out today's episode of Too Stupid to Live. I hope you all have a clueless level incestuous rest of wait, let me do this again. I hope you all have a clueless level incestuous rest of your day. All right, did it. 'Cause I just can't make my eyes behave.
Question: real estate in California. What the Seriously, can someone help? What's an escrow? What's an ARM? What is an REO? What is pre-approval? Can I get pre-approval? Why is inventory so low? Why are interest rates so high? Oh, interest rates not so high? How low is low? How not so high is right.
Before you go down the road of questions, get expert help at championsofhome.com. California Association of Realtors. Who's your realtor?